All right, so you had to complete numbers 1 and 2 of this ratio practice worksheet. So I want to go over this worksheet with you, a few of the problems, but I definitely want to go over your success starter. So number 1 says fruits. Find the ratio of bananas to oranges in the graphic at the right. Write the ratio as a fraction in simplest form, then explain its meaning. All right, so the first thing I need to notice is that they gave me an order for what they wanted, the ratio of bananas to oranges. So I need to make sure that I'm keeping that same order. So first, bananas to oranges. Let me count how many bananas. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know my 2. And now to oranges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so I have 4 to 12, but I know that's not the simplest that I could get that. So I have to ask myself, what number would divide up 4 and 12? And I know that the biggest number that can is 4. So how many 4s am I getting out of 4? I'm just getting 1. How many 4s out of 12? I get 3. So this is my simplest form, 1 to 3. And now it asks me to explain its meaning. So that means that for every banana, there are 3 oranges. All right, awesome. Let's look at number 2. It says model trains. Hiroshi has 4 engines and 18 boxcars. Find the ratio of engines to boxcars. Write the ratio as a fraction in simplest form, then explain its meaning. So you guys know I like to highlight important information. So they want us to find the ratio of engines to boxcars, engines to boxcars. So that's what I need to make sure that I am completing my ratio in order. So engines, I know that we have 4 of them according to this problem. In boxcars, we have 18. But it's asking me to to write this ratio as a fraction in simplest form. So 4 to 18 is not the simplest it could go. So I need to think clearly here and ask myself, what number can divide up 4 and 18 evenly? I know that 18 I can't get even groups of 4 out of there. So my next best bet is 2. So how many 2s can I get out of 4? I can get 2 of them. And how many 2s can I get out of 9? Out of 18, excuse me, it's 9. So our ratio, our simplest form is 2 to 9. So now I need to explain its meaning. So it's for every 2 engines, there are 9 boxcars. All right, so I hope you got that correct. If you did not, I need you to make sure you have out your notes so that you can complete these with a little more confidence and to make sure that they are correct. Okay, so now I'm going to go over a few of these with you guys before kind of turning you loose to complete some on your own. I'm going to skip through a couple that are super simple and go over, let's see, I'll go over number 5. It says zoos. A petting zoo has 5 lambs, 11 rabbits, 4 goats, and 4 piglets. Find the ratio of goats to the number of total animals. All right, let's highlight that so we can make sure that we are keeping that in mind, ratio of goats to the total number of animals. All right, and notice here, this problem, it is not telling us that we have to write it in any particular form. So we could choose whichever ratio form we want. So first things first, it says ratio of goats. So how many goats do I have? I have 4. And then total animals. So that means I need to add up all of these animals here so that I know how many I have in total. So 5 lambs plus 11 rabbits, that gives me 16 animals, plus 4 goats, that gives me 20 animals, plus 4 piglets, 24 animals. All right, so my ratio is 4 to 24, but that is definitely not its simplest form. I know that 4 can divide up 4 and it can divide up 24. So now it's time for me to ask, and I'm just going to draw a little arrow because we're about to simplify it. How many 4s do I get out of 4? I get 1. How many 4s out of 24? And I get 6. So the ratio is 1 to 6. And I'm actually going to write this in the 3 ways. So whichever you prefer, there it is. All right, let's go on. I'm going to check out number 7 with you guys. Bakery. Rolls are being prepared to go to the grocery store. Divide 48 rolls into 2 groups so that the ratio is 3 to 5. How many rolls will be in each group? Okay, so one cool method that you guys could use is simply doing a ratio table. So I know in the first group, let's start this with 3 to 5. And we are going to write out some multiples of our 2 numbers. So 3, then 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Let me stop there and see if I need to add more in a second. Let me get my multiples of 5. 5 and 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So I know that the rows that these 2 numbers have to equal 48. So whichever number, looking at group 1 and group 2, the 2 numbers together have to equal 48. So I know that 27 plus 45 is definitely not 48. All right. I know that 24 and 40 is not 48. 21 and 35 does not equal 48. But look here, 18 plus 30, that does equal 48. So I now know that in group 1, I'm going to have 18 of the rows. And in group 2, I'm going to have 30 of the rows. And boom. All right, another way that you could have done this is by using what's called a tape diagram. And this one, so you would set up the ratio is 3 to 5. And so I am going to put 3 bars or boxes, and then 5 bars or boxes. And it doesn't have to be perfect because as you can see, mine definitely is not. But I have 3 bars, 1, 2, 3 up here, and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that I need to divide up these 48 rows into all of these boxes. Okay. Well, the first question is, well, how many boxes do I have anyways? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 boxes. I'm going to divide up these 48 rows in. So I know that 48 divided by 8 is 6. So that means there are 6 in every single one of these boxes. You say, okay, well, what do I do from there? I'll show you. So up here in the group for the ratio, the top part of 3, it's 1 6 plus another 6 plus another 6. That equals 18. And then down here, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 30. So notice that I have a group of 18 and 30 by doing this method as well. All right, so I'm going to clear this. And let's go over, let's look at number 9. Okay, so it says equivalent ratios, use a diagram to solve each problem. They give you some options, a double number line, table, proportion, or you could even use the bar model I showed you a few moments ago. And it says work must be shown. And you guys know that's a rule for Math 6 anyways. So let's look at number 9. It says to make yellow icing, you mix 6 drops of yellow food coloring with 1 cup of white icing. How much yellow food coloring should you mix with 5 cups of white icing to get the same shade? All right, so we don't want this when we're trying to make more of the icing. We don't want it to be way lighter or way darker than our original recipe. So we have to make sure that we keep it proportional. So notice here that we are comparing 6 drops of yellow food coloring with the icing. So I am going to write a proportion. So let's see, I'm going to compare food coloring to the icing. So that means it's 6 drops of food coloring to 1 cup of icing. And I am comparing that to, they want to know, what if you had 5 cups of icing? Notice that my icing is, they're both staying on the bottom. I'm not mixing up the order here. So let me make these just a tad bit darker for you. So I am going to point to what I don't know, because it's a big question mark here. We don't know how many drops of food coloring we'll need, but we're going to find out. And I'm going to point in the same direction on the bottom. And the reason is because whatever I do to one part of the ratio, I must do that to the other part of the ratio in the same direction. So I first asked myself, how am I going from 1 to 5? And I know that's by multiplying by 5. So that means that up here I must also multiply by 5. So 6 times 5 is 30. So that means that for 5 cups of white icing, I would need 30 drops of food coloring. So that's my final answer. All right. Now I'm going to clear this. Let's go on to, let's look at number 11. Cans of corn are on sale at $5 for $2. Find the cost of 15 cans. And it gives you a hint here for this one. Hint, you are comparing corn and the money it costs. All right, so let's check this out. So if I'm comparing corn to the money, so my corn is 5 cans to the money is $2. And it wants me to find the cost of 15 cans. So remember, cans are up there on the top. So now I'm going to make that number equal to 15. And we don't know how much it's going to cost. So remember, I'm going to point to what I don't know. And look up here, and I see I'm going from 5 to 15. Well, how am I going from 5 to 15? I'm going from 5 to 15 by multiplying by 3. So that means down here, I must also multiply by 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. So cans are on sale for $5 for $2. Find the cost of 15 cans. 15 cans cost $6, $6. Okay, guys, so I am going to post this video in the resources in CTLS, but also in my app. And you guys are going to be able to rewatch this later. But now it is time for you to complete the rest of this worksheet individually. That means there is no talking. And I want you to try your best, and you are going to turn this in with your name, date, and class period. Make sure it goes into your class bin. All right.